inside Mike Delivers from his wife's, cat's, his own living room. Here's your host, Mike Biseglia.
That's right. This is Mike Delivers, episode number 116. And I'm your host, Mike Biseglia. And I'm coming to you from my cats, from my sons, from my wife's house in Bloomfield, New Jersey. You can find this podcast where all major pods are found, of course, on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and the Leon Podcast Network, which is all pussycats all the time. Leon the cat, gotta love him. Jess, welcome to Healthy Food Month from places that are not known for healthy food. That's really wordy. I'll probably need to scale that down a little bit. How the hell are you?
We should make an acronym out of it.
Oh my God. What would that even be?
I don't know.
You want to try that on the fly?
No,
here?
no, I
we'll
don't.
Wait, because that'll be a disaster.
Places that are not healthy, that are healthy food from not healthy food places.
Oh my God, that sounds like a lot of work.
This is basically something I've been trying to figure out for the last 15, 20 years.
Good. Well, I'm glad we can help you.
Often not that good.
Yeah, and often, as we'll dive right into it, I've found that the healthy food choices can sometimes end up being more caloric than the actual bad food choices.
Do you know what that's called?
Bad, Dumb America?
The healthy halo.
Uh-huh. It's like these salads that have all this dressing on it and carbohydrate on it. And then it's like, wait a minute, you're telling me the salad is more caloric than the burger with fries? How is that possible?
Okay, well, maybe not that, but a junior bacon cheeseburger definitely has less than a typical salad at Wendy's.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
So,
which is crazy.
I know, the whole thing, I mean, okay, nutrition-wise, we could have a different discussion because you're getting vegetables and lean protein versus trans fats and saturated fats. But then you're also getting protein, you're getting satiety. There's a whole thing. I don't want to get too nutritionist crazy here, but why are we doing this month, Michael?
I feel fat. I've definitely gained weight. I've looked at the scale. It's happened. I mean, I was in such a good, healthy rhythm at the end. Before we went to the pandemic and I was commuting to the city and working out, I was getting so many steps. If you were to look at pictures of me, then you go, okay, I see it. I mean, I probably gained 7 pounds. Is that a lot to gain in 9 months?
No, I don't think so when you're a guy of your height.
And I just think the circumstances of what happened this year, I think a lot of people who are in a routine of a schedule got totally out of whack because I would go to the city. I would be walking steps. I had the access to the gym. So
you were lifting, 5 days a week or something?
I was lifting 5 days a week. That's the difference. I think the lifting only 1 day a week has totally fucked me.
Well, we took our garage, which is too small for really either of our big cars to get into, and turned it into a gym.
Yes.
So we have treadmill, Peloton, weight stuff, a bar studio for me. You can use it anytime. It is literally in our house.
I know. I'm actually going to, after this podcast, I'm going to lift.
Okay.
I've got a session. I've got my instructor coming, Javier.
Well, you could do the Peloton strength training.
I know. Okay. Can we tandem Peloton together on the bike at the same time?
No, we cannot.
That would be adorable. Do they have that?
No, they do not.
They need to invent
that. Would be hilarious. Actually,
I'm a thinker. I'm always coming up with ideas.
Is it a terrible idea? They just came out with a new Peloton, even though ours is really new. It's
Yes.
new. It's, first of all, it's cooler and it's cheaper.
It has different explain this.
So okay, so let's say you wanted to lift with it. There's strength training on it, but honestly, it's so weird. You have to just stand behind the bike to do your workout. So now it has a swivel screen, so you could move it so that it could be by your weight bench and everything. So I just use the app on my phone. If I want to do anything other than cycling, if I want to do yoga or anything, I just use the app on my phone because you can put it wherever you want. That's the part that's weird is you're I'm going to do yoga, but I have to stand behind my bike to do it.
Okay, it's funny you say that because I told our friend Dan, who was here today, and he was just checking out the garage. I was showing him the gym. I was like, "Oh, this is new," and he mentioned that, and I was like, "I don't think it has that."
What?
He mentioned everything that you just went
over.
Oh,
how it swings out,
he's like, "There's your swivel."
No. Of course, it swivels. It's $700 cheaper. It's apparently you can get a credit, if you want to return it or replace it. But I'm fine with it at this point. As long as you have the app or the iPad, you can just take it wherever you want. But there are classes, so there kind of is no excuse. Your only excuse is
Laziness.
The weight situation.
Yeah, the weights, well, I can adapt with the weights. They're like these smaller weights, and it's just not as ideal, but it can be done.
That's because weights are still impossible to find.
Expensive. So I'm just going to start.
No, they're impossible to find.
I'm going to bench Ryan.
Well, I think I could bench Ryan.
What does he weigh? 14 pounds?
Probably like
8 pounds?
8 pounds.
That's still a lot.
I could curl Ryan.
Yeah, I know. You got to be careful. He's not an ideal weight. He's ideal weight, but he's not an ideal weight because like his head.
Oh, yeah.
You can't drop the weight.
No, you cannot drop it. He's very squirmy too.
Yeah. And that would be, I don't know, violence.
But yeah, so we thought part of it is my fault.
What?
Your weight gain.
Do you notice the weight gain?
No, not at all, because
your eyes were rolling.
You're the only person I see. So literally, it's the most gradual thing in the world. I could not tell. But I went pretty hard the last couple weeks of pregnancy.
That's what it was.
No, because I wasn't gaining weight sufficiently. Yeah. I only ended up gaining 21 pounds.
Ice cream gets you.
I got ice cream every single night for like 3 weeks.
So
didn't get me.
I turned a corner where I actually got below I got back to my pre-quarantine weight. And then it was the last month of the baby and we ate, and I'm so easily pursued by peer pressure for food. It's not hard. You were like, let's get ice cream. I'm like, yes. Let's get sushi. Yes. You know, we should get dumplings with that. Yes. And I just have no self-control. Plus the fact that I'm not working out like I used to. And bam, there it was.
Yeah. And I was like getting a little panicked, to be honest, towards the end, because they were like, okay, so like I was supposed to gain like 35 pounds because I was on the lighter side to start with. Like 30 to 35 pounds. I only got to 21 pounds. And I was like, the day I had him, I was probably 20. I gained 20 pounds. I was like freaking out that he wasn't going to be big enough and everything. Yeah. So I was like, when you're that pregnant, your stomach is the size of a walnut. That's the issue. Yeah. So I was like, let's eat really high calorie stuff.
Yeah.
We had vanilla ice cream. I did.
And I don't
every single night.
I don't usually eat ice cream.
We never eat dessert.
No, I don't really. I'm not a big dessert.
But then my mom she eats dessert every night. Did you notice that? That's her treat.
I guess, yes, you're right.
That's her thing. She does either but very healthy. She does like a low calorie ice cream or like a popsicle every night. That's her thing. And then we had all that shit in the house after he was born.
And then I was having a couple beers after doing Uber Eats at night.
Oh, yeah. And then I also had a lot of wine in the house because I was like, I can have wine in the house.
So I think it just all came together as the perfect storm.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. So I
need a haircut too.
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling bad about myself right now.
Well, it'll be interesting to see where we're at from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. I have 5.5 pounds to go to get back to where I was.
I think you look hot.
Oh, thanks.
I mentioned it numerous times. With the new, I guess this is like a Bad Weather Fans episode, which let me mention, by the way. Let me get to some of this.
Explain to people what Bad Weather Fans is. Let me get to the
administrative work here on the podcast. So now that I'm not at CBS, I'm going to go a little more extreme on promotion of things because I always felt there was a like conflict of interest on my part. Maybe that was a lot in my head for various reasons. But now that I don't have those, I guess, metaphorical chains in a sense, like I just feel more free to do me. Check out Bad Weather Fans. It's a podcast I do with Alex Benesowitz. Alex is a diehard Knicks fan. I'm a diehard Nets fan. And we come together for a podcast. We talk more than basketball, but I think it's a good example of just two people that have very different beliefs in their hoops. And then we come together and talk basketball. So check that out. It's at the Pros Club. So over the last 3 years, I kind of never told people about this, but I created a website with Anthony Pierno where we created podcasts for people and for pro athletes. And it was actually your idea back in the day. And it's funny that it's your idea because when you came up with it, it wasn't a thing. But this concept has exploded. There's so many athletes with podcasts now. It's ridiculous. And it's kind of annoying because it's felt like it's watered it down a little bit. But you/me/ because Anthony, we were ahead of it. I just didn't know what I was doing. But that's like the frustrating part. And that, as I mentioned, Bad Weather Fans, download it, check it out. I think if you like basketball, you'll love it. It's really good.
Well,
I think it's a really good podcast.
I would say, I have a couple things to say. One, your promotion was so minimal. I did not know you had this podcast till I think you were like 7 episodes in.
Yeah. Alex does a great job with the promotion.
Well,
like, he's like a god to the
you gotta
listeners.
get on board. But I would actually say I actually listen because I really enjoy it.
Yes.
It's probably a third basketball, I would say.
It'll get more hoopsy as the season comes back.
But the non-basketball stuff's the good shit.
Yeah, and this is what I've realized, though. You need to have a balance. Listen to me here. If you go all in on one topic...
I have literally nothing else to do.
It doesn't work, in my opinion. Like, if it was just all silly, you need to have a balance. And there's like you have to figure that out, whatever that balance is. Because I know you're not as interested in the basketball, which is fine. But the people that listen do love it. You know what I mean? Like if you were coming to a podcast that was about, something you're really passionate about, like cake, that cake's better than pie and why it is. And then the whole time it needs to make sure that that's the heartbeat of it, but it can work around it, with like the arteries, etc.
I agree, but I listen to a lot of really niche podcasts. And I'd say as long as it's less than 50% of what you actually talk about, because I think that the other stuff is the interesting part of it.
Right.
I totally agree with you, but you don't even have to like that thing.
Right.
Like, I sometimes will stumble into a podcast because I like the host.
Well,
and the topic is not so interested in, but I can get into it. But because most of it's talking about their lives or whatever they're interested in. That's what's interesting to me.
Ultimately, the people talking have to be interesting. If they're not interesting or entertaining,
that's true.
It doesn't matter what the topic is. By the way, this podcast is about healthy foods this month from places that don't typically serve healthy foods. I want the acronym to change every time.
Okay.
So, this month's podcast for food selection is devoted to foods that are healthy for you and typically have lower calorie content than higher calorie foods that have come from restaurants that aren't good for you, that are rhyme with the word Mendy's, Fifanels, Monic,
Schmive Guys.
and Schmive Guys. When we get to Schmive Guys,
I'm really excited for that one.
That's going to be a great episode. But this, I should mention as well. So let me just backtrack a little. Check out theprosclub.com. Check out Bad Weather Fans. Download that bitch. And today we tried Wendy's Parmesan Caesar.
You didn't talk about it because it's right on my line of sight right now. The Patreon episode we just did.
Oh, the Patreon was good.
Okay, so explain the concept.
Patreon.
That was a really good one. But explain the concept of the taste test.
Okay, so thank you for that. That was in my notes.
I'm literally looking right at them, so that's why.
So that didn't help the weight, by the way. Just powering through wings nonstop. So Patreon, you've heard me talk about it at nausea. And this is going to become even more revved up now that I'm not at CBS. If you go to Patreon, you get bonus content to the Mike Delivers podcast. It's more food reviews. It's video versions of we do an extra podcast, and we also put it on video that's got more content in the beginning and end of it. We do blind food taste tests where Jess puts food in my mouth and I'm blindfolded with her pantyhose. And what we did yesterday, which is my favorite part of the Patreon, I'm not going to lie, I'll be biased about it, is at the end of every month, like this past month, you guys have been listening, it's Wings Month. We got wings from Applebee's, and then we got wings from like a local pub in town. And what Jess does is she blindfolds me. This is all on video. You can check this out. You can see this. You can watch all this. She puts a blindfold around my eyes, puts a plate in front of me. One plate has the wing from Applebee's. The other plate has the wing from the local place in town called Just Jake's. I then, not looking at it, take the food, try each wing, and decide which one I like better. We did this with pancakes, IHOP and Nevada Diner, a local spot in town. That also can be found on the podcast. So what we do is I try these foods. I then make a decision which one I like better. And that's what you get, man. It's $4 a month. It's on Patreon. Mike delivers, patreon.com, or download it on your app. You get all of that for $4. You get to see the extra podcast, the videos, the blind food taste tests, and you get to see us with Ryan doing a podcast. So if you like Mike delivers for $4 a month, it's appreciated. And I just quit CBS. So I'm not going to lie. It would be helpful. Thank you.
I do enjoy watching you eat blindly. It's like a little concerning. Like
why?
Because it's just hard to eat blind. So like with the pancakes, you like start with a fork and knife, and then you're like, fuck that, and you ripped it.
Are you talking about all the blind food taste tests or just the
Oh, no, I'm talking about the comparison one because it's a little more composed food. I kind of hand you the other one. Right. I couldn't really hand you these. And like with the
and I know what's coming.
With the chicken wings, I was like, oh God, is he going to eat through the bones? Like because you were just like, rah, rah, rah.
They were good. I like both of them.
They were great, actually. They were honestly, they were definitely some of the best ones we had.
I'll be interested to see what we do for Patreon at the end of this month. I don't know what it is yet. Like, I just don't know.
We're going to have to find something. I don't know.
This is going to be a trickier one to put together.
Yes, we're going to have to find. Honestly, what we did today would have been a good comparison one.
Right.
You know, that actually would have been.
God damn it. We'll figure it out. I know, right? You get a Caesar from like
a good place locally. Yeah. And then.
See, for that one, I want the bite composed on the fork. For example, let's say we did Caesar salad with chicken. I want on the fork, piece of chicken, piece of lettuce, little cheese, little dressing. Try each fork. Okay. And then make a decision.
Interesting. Yeah, no,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, that is really fun.
It is.
Really I mean, if we had the fundage, it would be fun to do that like every week. It would be fun. It would be fun to do a comparison every week, but like, you know, paying for the food gets to you eventually.
It adds up.
But my favorite episodes we do, be it Patreon or this, are like we did like the fish fillet. When it's the comparison makes such a difference. It's like when you do a wine tasting and you're like, this wine sucks. But if you had it on its own, you'd be like, this is the best wine I ever had. But you just had like 4 other ones next to it.
And I know in episode 115 I talked about leaving CBS, but if you go to the previous Patreon episode, you do like these fun questions about best memory, worst memory, and food story. And I tell some like kind of behind the scenes CBS stuff. So if you want to hear that, it's on Patreon too, which was fun. Yes. There's some good stories.
We didn't get to quite finish because by
the time people are, that's true. But
our little producer requires us to do part 2 next week.
It is fun though. It was fun looking back at all the memories at CBS, Jesse, because you forget like I was there for 8 years almost. That's a long time.
That is a long time to have a job.
I was at Charlottesville for less 6.
Yeah, that's a long time for people to have a job in general.
It felt like it was such an anticlimactic ending.
Oh, it was super anticlimactic.
Yeah. I think just because of COVID and being on paternity leave.
Yeah, they were just like, bye. Yeah. That's all right. I think you'd prefer that, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think so,
Common circumstance is stressful.
Uh-huh. No, I like, there was no official memo or anything through work. I think there might be people that think I still work there.
That part's a little weird.
But here's why. Because I don't go to the office anymore. Or didn't. So, like, people that would normally have seen me because of life, if nobody tells them, how would they know if they're still working from home to begin with?
No, it makes sense. My job's been remote for the last 5 or 6 years. Yeah, the only way that we know if somebody leaves is if we get like an inter-office memo that somebody leaves. So
yeah, I
don't know. I figure just leave gracefully, quietly.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. No, for sure. But anyway, to all of that, to wrap it up, doing more for me. So Patreon, Bad Weather Fans, check out theprosclub.com. Like, this is how crazy the Pros Club has been, that I didn't even tell people at work this happened. The Pros Club made national news twice. Scott Pollard, former NBA star, player, champion, he was doing a podcast for a while. He had Charles Barkley on the podcast, and he made some comments about Luka Doncic that made national headlines. Barkley comes on with Pollard. This is before Doncic is drafted, and says, don't take him. He's not going to be great. Doncic ends up, he's like he's the top 5 player in the league. And then we had Rex Walters, who had Stan Van Gundy on, former NBA guard, now did a lot of great coaching in the NBA in college. He had Stan Van Gundy on. made national news. The Pros Club was on ESPN.com for 27 hours. CBS Sports radio shows were using the cut on their shows.
But you weren't telling anybody?
And people didn't know it was mine.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't say it for a few reasons. I can say now is there was like a weird feeling I had being like, I'm promoting, like, why are you doing a better job with your website than you are with my radio show? And that caused me to have internal conflict.
I think they did a good job with the media ethics at Syracuse University.
Yes. I think that's a Mike Biseglia ethic.
No,
but that's why I'm excited to be, like, I'm working for a podcast company now, which I love, but it's just it's so different. It's never, it's just not going to be the same thing. Like, where I'm doing sports stuff and all these people that are around me know what's going on. I'm producing podcasts, which I love, about voting and just more deeper issues to me. So it's just a different world, which is cool.
Well, I get it. I mean, the whole time I've been in the biotech industry, the only like side gigs I've ever had was like working at a fitness studio, which is just like so opposite, right. Like selling microscopes to major pharmaceutical companies. And then it's just nice to have that. Although occasionally there'd be like somebody who worked in that industry who would go there, but that was it.
Right.
There was something just relieving about that. This baby is so hot. I am on fire.
I know. He's comfy.
He is. I have him wrapped up in a little swaddle on me, and we're both on fire right now.
And you haven't heard him really on this podcast. I wanted to bring up.
That's because he's asleep.
So I wanted to bring up a story about a healthy salad, because this is healthy salad or healthy food month from places that aren't healthy normally with their foods that are known for their.
And I think salads are the first place you go, but like you said, it could be like totally laden with like things that make a salad taste good that are not healthy.
When I think now salads from fast food places, I will always think for the rest of my life, you going to McDonald's on our way to Pittsburgh. I don't know where we ate it. Was it Breezewood?
Breezewood, yeah.
And then thinking we got COVID 19 days later.
Oh, wow. I've never thought about that.
Yep. And
I got it 8 days later. You got like 5 days later.
So I'm like, when I went in that McDonald's,
did
I have it? Probably not.
Probably not. The fact that my family didn't get it is still pretty amazing from you.
That to me is so bizarre. So when did I get it?
So you got it Tuesday and we left them Sunday, which is only 48 hours.
So how did they not get it from me?
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't know, not just me. I don't think anybody really knows the true incubation period. Whenever you got it, and then I got it, my doctor said the incubation period is about 3 to 5 days. It was 3.5 days later. I felt sick.
Yeah.
That was perfect timing. For what you would expect for somebody.
Right. That makes sense to me. You and me make sense. Because you probably got it from me in the car.
Yeah, probably.
But how did I not give it to anybody in your house? It makes no sense.
I mean, it could have been viral load. My parents' house is enormous.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't
wide open. I was with your dad in the car numerous times.
But not on Sunday. That was probably Saturday. So that was like 3.5, 4 days later.
Saturday. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got it from somebody in New York. I didn't get it from somebody in Pittsburgh.
So you were incubating it probably. Yeah, no, I don't know.
So when you're incubating it, you can't spread it?
No, you could. Absolutely.
It's a miracle. I mean, I'm not going to be really surprised.
My parents would probably like just cut us off. We never talked to him again if we gave it to him.
Well, there's a whole, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole with COVID. But, I mean, at the time, I don't know if people were taking it as serious as they are now.
No one was taking it serious. We weren't even in lockdown then.
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, that's when I think of those salads. I think of that.
Oh, yeah. That was... So, yeah, we stopped in Breezewood. And I got
the chicken fingers.
I was like 12, 13 weeks pregnant. Yeah, I had to have been like 13 weeks pregnant because I got COVID at 14. And I was starving. And we couldn't really find a place to stop. We were like... Next place on the road, which in hindsight, like, we didn't really realize what a big deal everything was. Yeah. Like, I would have packed food. We just would have kept going.
Jesse, I think of all the people I interacted with in Pittsburgh on that trip, and that it didn't happen is a miracle.
My mom and I we kind of did our own lockdown.
I had lunch with in the downstairs of your dad's office, which is a smaller, tighter area, with your dad, your brother, Sean, who works there, and George, who works there. The 5 of us sat at a table together, which was the old table from
my kitchen.
From your kitchen. So you know that table.
I know that table well.
You know that basement.
Yes. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Like, it freaks me out. Now, did your Uncle Tom and Mary Kay come over that night? Or was that Christmas?
That was Christmas.
That was
So
they weren't.
No, that was the only. So my mom and I, we bought the couch that's behind us right now. We went makeup shopping and we got a pedicure, and we were like, we're keeping it tight, and then we stayed home the rest of the time. Yeah. That's still more than I've done in total in the last couple of months.
Crazy. And I don't want to make it out like we were being irresponsible.
No, but
it wasn't even a
this
thing.
was March 12th and 13th.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they're still a little on the fence about things there, unfortunately.
Right. No, so I just, the timeline of last time we had a healthy salad, per se, it makes me think.
Well,
of that.
And that's funny you say that, because that actually is one of the last couple of times I've had a quote unquote healthy salad.
Do we have to now, every time we say healthy salad, put up our fingers?
Yeah, I'm doing quotes. Healthy salad. Because I kind of realized that the calorie count on other things is usually better. Like, get a grilled chicken sandwich.
Right.
You know, but
unless you're in the mood for a salad.
No, but I was really pregnant. Not really pregnant. I was like going into my second trimester, and I was like really hungry, and it was just nice to have like a big bucket of food.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes it's just nice to have
a side of fries.
I don't think so. It was a huge salad. I got the fried chicken one. That was the fried chicken. That was my like indulgence.
Yeah, it is terrifying though when you go up to an order there and they tell you the calories. You're like, ugh.
No, I know. But sometimes
I'll get the 2 piece. I'm going to get the half piece meal.
I'll have 4 nuggets and 1 fry.
Yes, and if you don't mind, can you dap it in a napkin?
So yeah, that was that actually was delicious. But that was not one of the healthiest ones. And so part of the reason we picked this salad for Wendy's was it is the lowest calorie count salad they have. They have quite a rotation of salads. I went through a real phase of Wendy's chicken salads when I had a real summer. When I was going into my junior year of college. I taught dance for 4 hours in the morning at a high school.
Yep.
And then I went to intern at the Carnegie Science Center. I maintained the aquariums there.
Very cute.
And then I took night classes because I was trying to graduate in 3 years, but then I changed my plan. So those were some long-ass days.
Yes.
And I would get a Wendy's salad in between dance and the aquarium. They were watery and not very good. Like there was always water in the bottom of the container. Oh. I don't know. That's like what I always think of is.
I don't think.
And the chicken was scary. No. This was much better. I mean, granted, that's been a long time. That was like 2000. Watery. I was in 2005, so it's been like 15 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was watery. And the chicken was scary. Like, you had to, like, inspect the chicken before you ate it.
Pull off the pieces that don't belong.
Yeah.
That's not chicken. That's a Power Ranger.
You're like,
how did that get there?
That's a Lego. Yeah, no, it was
Why
a little...
there Cheetos on my chicken? They add crunch.
Also, eating a salad in the car is always challenging.
Yeah, that's not easy in life. I mentioned this on the video. You can see me trying it. Head over to my social media at Mike Delivers Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I mentioned this on this video. When I went to order the food, first of all, I got there and the line at the drive-thru was so long.
The usual Belleville one?
Yeah.
Really?
The drive-thru was nuts.
I feel like
I'm going in.
I feel like I've done the last couple ones there and I just drove right up.
Well, it was 6:00 on a Sunday.
Okay.
So it was, just a prime time to be busy. And when I went in there, I didn't know you could order a half salad.
I have to say I did not know that either.
So at this point, I'm like...
That feels like a fancy restaurant thing, not a fast food place.
I was surprised by it. But maybe it makes sense because, like, for example, let's say someone wants to get a side salad.
But it's not as... It makes me think of like a really fancy Italian restaurant where you can get a half pasta, and I love that concept.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
Of course,
where you can just so you can try the pasta.
Yeah, you do right.
Yeah,
do it. No, I get that.
or like Panera with like a you pick two situation.
Yeah, no, it's always, you know me, I love multiple varieties of things.
Yeah, I do too. I
prefer having 8 small things than one big thing.
I agree. That's why we did kind of Japanese-ish tapas last night. I like that as well.
I'm a big fan of that. That's why I like high-end buffets. Yeah.
Oh, buffets. Goodbye. We talked about that yesterday.
Peace. We did, yeah. Well, that's because of COVID. Okay, so in there, and this is the part I wanted to get to, that when I referenced the half salad. I go into the Wendy's, and I noticed that you could do a full salad or a half salad. And for the podcast purpose, I'm like, you know what, let's just get a half salad because, well, it's healthy food month. I don't need the whole chicken Parmesan Caesar. So she goes, yeah, so you ready to order? I go, yeah, I'll do the Parmesan chicken salad half. That's it. And she goes, that's it? I go, that's it. She goes, that's all you're ordering here. I go, yes, that's all I'm getting. She goes, okay, $5.56, $5.37, whatever it was. Handed her over the cash. She gave me the change. Moseyed on over to the side. Didn't give me the receipt. Asked for it.
Nice
job.
Right
off me.
Nice job.
But her shock in that I went into a Wendy's and got a half salad and left, I can guarantee you that's never been done there.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
No.
You and I ordering coffee at Starbucks.
How so?
Okay, so pre-COVID, we would just order. I typically get a dark roast. You usually get a blonde roast. And we just order coffee. Yes. And it always does weird them out. They're like, and? Now so I do put half and half in my coffee, nothing else. No sugar, no anything.
I just go black.
But now, because you can't like manhandle the containers, which honestly kind of fine with, gross. You have to like I'll say, could you put a splash of half and half in the dark roast?
Yeah.
But they're always like, okay, what else? You know, because people come in there with these crazy orders. Yes. That's the only thing that reminds me of.
Fair, but to kind of defend the wackiness of this order, that's at least a coffee shop. So it kind of makes sense. We went into a burger place, which they're promoting right now is a bacon burger on a pretzel bun. And I asked for the Parmesan crisp chicken salad, half size.
I do want to try, first of all, I really want to try 2 things. That pretzel bun. So I made pretzel buns once. Do you remember that in Charlottesville? I've never, aside from chocolate babka, nothing has ever taken me longer to make in my entire life.
Pretzels and bagels are a
God.
process.
Yes. Just buy it.
Delicious,
buy them though. It is $1.99 and you'll get 12 hours back of your life. I do want to try that though in the Wendy and the McDonald's spicy chicken nuggets.
Maybe we could do pretzel bun month from places that rhyme with Schmendy's.
I don't know. Wendy's stuff has been really disappointing on the show.
What place have we tried the most? Is that would be interesting.
So we've done like Starbucks, we've done Wendy's,
we've done a lot.
IHOP.
Yeah, I think IHOP the most. If I had to guess,
because it's always open and it's close to our house.
We've done 2 pancakes, 1 breakfast, so that's 3.
We did those chicken tenders.
No, the chicken tenders were with the waffles. We didn't do chicken tenders. Wendy's might be in the lead now, too.
Oh, yeah, we've done a lot of Wendy's. We did Wendy's, I'll never forget, because we did...
Wendy's breakfast.
We did Wendy's when we had no power in the house.
Ugh.
The hottest. Oh, God. I mean, thinking back to that, I was 9 months pregnant. It was like 100 degrees outside.
Feels like another life.
And we had no air conditioning.
Ugh.
Thank God this kid wasn't here. I don't even know what we would have done.
Hotel.
We would have done a hotel the first night instead of, toughed it out.
Yeah. No shot.
Yeah.
No shot. Yeah, Wendy's. Did we do anything else from Wendy's?
We did like the breakfast baconator. We've done the fish. The fish sandwich was really good.
Yeah, that's 3.
We did like all their breakfast sandwiches.
We need an intern to go back and log everything and give us the data. Ryan, grow up and be the intern.
Yeah.
It's such an intern thing to do, right?
Yeah, totally.
You intern for the Mike Delivers podcast. What did you do? I had to go back. Let's get all the episodes and track everything they got. Here's the information, sir. You didn't capitalize the restaurants. Do it again.
On one podcast I listened to, they have a super fan that catalogs so she starts her episodes by saying, welcome to our little, like, whatever it is. It could be donut holes, butterscotch oatmeal cookies, whatever it is. And so it's a carb always, but the podcast has been on for like 12 years. So they call her the carb czar, the person who makes the spreadsheet for it.
Yes, we need the carb czar. Is she available?
I don't know. We got to get her on retainer.
Get her on retainer for sure, man. Yeah, so went in there, picked it up. They were shocked by it. Definitely made the right decision not going in the drive-thru. Went in, got the salad, got home, and that was the end of it. That was really it. It was empty inside, but my big takeaway would just be the shock from somebody working there that's what I ordered. Can I just tell another Wendy story while we're at it? Because I didn't make stories from the road.
Yes, but I do just have to say that they probably are so used to these. Like, you got a 7-Eleven order recently that was like truly repulsive.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, they have to be used to that kind of a thing.
Right.
Where you're like, are you having a party or are you having a binge? Like, what's happening here?
Oh, there's such a story from the road today that I haven't done yet that I just want to tell you so badly.
Me?
Because it's just such a good question. But then I'm like, am I blowing my load for a future episode? But it's so
we can
good.
talk about it later.
Oh, it's so good. It has to do with a kid and cursing. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
It was so funny.
All right.
When I do these stories from the road, I write them down in my notes section because I'll forget. I won't remember anything that happened. In this one, I was like, I truly don't know the answer to this as a new parent. I'm like, I don't know. It was good. Sorry. Okay, anyway, Wendy's chicken. Oh, yeah, this is
you
the
said
story.
you had a story.
Yes, because I didn't tell this one on the story from the road, so I'll share it here. Did a pickup from Wendy's, and I got somebody, it was a hamburger, chicken nuggets, and it came with a cookies and a drink. And the woman put the food together, gave them to me all separately, and I was like, I'm sorry, do you have a bag for this? And she was stunned. I asked. I was going to hold cookies, chicken nuggets, and a burger, and a drink. I couldn't believe that in her mind, she didn't think to put that in a bag.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like, if you work at a fast food restaurant and you're handing somebody the order, let's say I wasn't the delivery driver and I just went to that's what I wanted to eat. Would you put that in a bag for me? Of course. So why was there a disconnect with the driver not to give me a bag?
I just picture you like balancing it on your forearms and then just like the burger just like flying off.
Well, I dropped food for the first time, which you'll hear as a story from the road. That's a tease. First time I dropped food.
Well, I haven't heard it yet.
That'll be in episode 117. I took notes. Those will all be. There's some good stories from them because I'm doing this all the time now, Jess. There's just more stories.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm doing 80 deliveries a week. I was doing that in 2 months. So they're just coming in fast.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I can imagine
they're just coming in fast and furious, man. So then this sparked something else. I should have written it down. Something else I want to tell you. There's so many things that are happening.
Me or like everybody?
No, well, the world. Well, you, but, the whole listening audience. There's so many things that are happening now from doing deliveries that they're just coming in fast and furious all the time. Which is fine. Which is cool. Which I like. It's good to have more content.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way to...
You have better content. I mean, you'd have superior content because you just have more weird stories.
Like, for example, let me just pull up my show notes. And I have, for next episodes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories. Yeah. From the road. You want to get a tease from what you'll hear on the next episode? Buying a girl's soda, a homeless person complaining about the $1 I gave them, a woman changing, and I looked at her in the eyes and she looked at me, the dropped food I had, the name confusion at Burger King, awkward moment after a drop-off where I was waiting at an elevator, but the woman's elevator was right where their door was, and she wouldn't open the door until I left. But we had a full conversation.
Through the door?
But she wouldn't leave until I went down.
You'd be like, I already had it.
And then finally, the 11-year-old skateboarding that I dropped food off to that went, oh, fuck.
Question about
this is all true stuff.
Question about the changing. Was she in her car?
No, she was in the. So I delivered her. I could tell this. Maybe there's 7 stories. So I don't even know if I could do them all. I was delivering the food, and I went into the driveway, and I look up, and there was a woman changing, and we locked eyes. And
it was her.
No, it must have been for her kid because it was a boy on the delivery, but there was, I don't know who it was. It wasn't her. We locked eyes as she was changing, and I was like, "Oh my god!" She probably was like, "Who's this creepy Uber Eats driver?" I was like, I was like, "I'm sorry, I think I saw boobs."
So that's what I was asking because, well, first of all, I used to always change into a leotard, like to teach dance after work for like many, 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 many years.
Many, many moons.
Yeah. And I feel like I would do it at a stoplight. So I'm sure somebody saw something at some point. But I've just started venturing back out into the world. And
hello, world.
Yes. I went to 2 workout classes this weekend. And I used my electronic hands-free breast pump on each way.
Yes.
So I put it on at the house, and I look like I am, I don't know, Dolly Parton, basically, when I wear this thing.
I've got a Dolly Parton story. I don't know if I can tell the Dolly Parton story.
And then I go to wherever I'm going, and I pop the little, electronic breast pumps off.
Right.
I mean, I'm definitely going to end up showing somebody boobs at some point.
No,
because there's just no way
there's going to be like an accident that's going to spiral. Like there's like, you're going to be like showing your boob by accident, and this guy's going to be driving the car. He's going to hit the car in front of him. That will hit the car in front of him, set the Whole Foods on fire. The Whole Foods then sets the Jimmy John's on fire. We have a story now in Montclair is in flames. It's because of your nipples.
No, there definitely is that issue, and I'm trying to quell it, but there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much? There's a lot of good stories coming from the road.
Well, that's good.
Which is exciting. Okay, let's get to this food from
Wendy's. All right,
Wendy's.
let's do it.
All right, Jesse. So 3 categories if you know the podcast. Heat factor, takeout presentation, and taste. Heat factor for this. How do we even judge this?
I just think is it at the temperature you'd like it to be at?
Yes.
Kind of like ice cream.
But it's like, it's such a cheat way to get points. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, here's a question for you on this. I actually had this thought the other day. So let's say you order a salad with a protein on it, like a meat.
Okay.
Do you want it cold or do you want it hot?
That's funny you bring that up. That's a great question because I, the other day, made a steak in the afternoon.
Maybe that's actually why I thought about this question because I had this apropos of
but
not
I had this steak,
discussion.
But I made it in the afternoon because when I got home from doing deliveries, I wanted to have something ready to eat.
Yeah.
And I was, like we said before, I've gained a little weight, so I'm trying to be healthier. So I put it on a salad. So the steak had been cooked, 8 hours earlier? Whatever the fuck it was. I reheated it. Now, I cooked it perfectly medium rare, so I was a little neurotic about fucking it up, but I wanted it hot. So I would say I prefer a hot steak even if it's a colder salad. I'm okay with that. But if the meat is cold, I think it's easier to get away with because the lettuce is cold. But I think preferably you'd want the meat hot.
I would say in general, I like the meat hot. I do feel like this had cold chicken on it. I don't love when it's chicken that's cold. Don't mind like a salmon being cold.
My chicken.
I don't.
You have a weird relationship with chicken.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. It just depends.
Like Katy Perry said, you're hot, then you're cold.
Yes.
Your chicken's hot, then it's cold.
But
You're yes, then you're no.
prefer. I'd prefer it hot. Chicken's the one I'm like, ugh. I don't love when that's cold.
Yeah,
because I just feel like it's been sitting around. Chicken just.
You're not a big chicken fan.
That's not true.
It is.
I get chicken on salads all the time.
Yeah, but you don't love chicken. You like certain types of chicken, but you're not a chicken person. I wouldn't say you're a chicken person.
Well, I think that if you could interview both myself and my brother, we ate chicken so much as children, it was comical to our neighbors, our family members. My mom made chicken 6 times a week, maybe 7.
And what style of the chicken?
All different, but it was only chicken. There was chicken with the bone in. There was boneless chicken breast. There was whole chickens. There was chicken soup. It was just all chicken all the time.
I think to me, chicken gets a bad chicken rap because, like, if you go to a nice restaurant, are you going to get the chicken? I don't know. Probably not. But the chicken's always really good.
You occasionally do.
Because it's, like, really moist and juicy. But, like, last night, for example, when we get to best thing I ate this week, from Ani Ramen, we had the chicken in the, what were those things?
Oh, the buns, like the little
chicken, the buns. You were like, I don't need this one. I loved it.
Bao buns, I think they're called. Yeah,
because you don't like dark meat.
I don't.
Which to me is just pathetic.
Well, and
it just shows how un-American you are.
Yeah, and as it shows whenever you go to my entire family's Thanksgiving, that you're the only person who eats the dark meat.
Yeah, and that's on your family for not getting it. Because then we go to my family's and everybody's eating the dark meat.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there with the stuffing.
I say, you want to get like this? Like there's things that get me angry in life. This will.
Okay.
I don't know. Who doesn't like dark meat chicken?
I don't like how it tastes.
It tastes better.
Who doesn't like fucking egg yolks? I can't have this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you have to be open-minded enough.
Here's the deal. I need to start eating eggs because then I can say whatever the fuck I want about food.
Absolutely.
And then I can be the authority.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to train my body to eat this disgusting egg because then I can be the authority. Like, who were we talking to recently that was like they liked the goop in the lobster too? Who was that?
I think it was your parents.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was.
No, it wasn't. It was somebody else.
Who else have we talked to other than our own parents lately?
I know.
We talked about it with your parents in our house. I remember it.
Like, the lobster stuff is good, man.
But that's, okay, it's not even healthy for you. But anyway.
Who cares if it's healthy for you? I'm very passionate about my food. I don't like eggs, but I would consider myself... No, I don't want to go here. Never mind. All right, you ready to do the review?
Yes, I'm ready to do the review. I thought we were doing the temperature anyway.
I don't know. How did we get here?
Because we were talking about cold chicken.
Cold chicken. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know how to give this a bad score. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it wasn't the taste we'll get to. Maybe not perfect. But as far as, like, consistency and temperature, I mean, the fucking dressing was in a bag that you had to rip open. The Parmesan croutons were in a little bag.
You had to do a lot of work to put the salad together, let's be honest.
Yes, but we're not judging the
No, I'm just saying that we did. That's...
So, cold heat factor, I'll say that it was a 9, because it was there. I mean, it was good. It was... like I would say, like, if you went into it and the lettuce was wilted because it was hot, or there was ice on the lettuce, that could sway. But as far as where it was for opening it up and eating it, I wouldn't say it was perfect because that would just be unfair to give Wendy's a perfect score for their salads. I'll give it a 9.
Okay, so I'm going to give it a challenging 7.
What does that even mean?
Just because, okay, in my dream world, and I do really like the Wendy's like grilled chicken sandwich. I love it. In my dream world, they'd have that salad. They'd have that chicken that they put on the sandwich hot, and they dice it up and throw it on the salad. But I understand that in reality, they can't do that because it would wilt and everything and melt the cheese.
Right.
But the place that we get a really great Caesar salad at, Cafe Giotto, they throw the hot chicken on there, and it always melts the cheese, and we're both fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like a really high-end cheese and a really high-end chicken.
Actually, I thought the cheese was not terrible in this at all. And I'm more of a cheese aficionado.
Yeah, you would have a better answer than that than I would.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Okay.
Because I'm just going to give it a 7 because I'm saying they're on a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
You put the hot... Because, like, let's say you're not eating it for a while.
Yeah.
Unless it's a spinach salad, you don't want that shit wilted down.
Can I ask you a question? Where do you think this chicken is that they get for the salad? Because it's pre-cooked.
Oh, I think it's something like a Tyson's or a Purdue. Like,
and is it just cooked sitting in a thing? Like, what do they do?
They probably cook the chicken breasts and then dice them up and chuck it on. Like a
do you think it's the same chicken that's in the grilled chicken sandwich?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Brand.
That has to be, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like a different chicken. Do you think people are getting salads from these places?
I mean, occasionally, apparently not half salads, but...
I guess you have to have a salad.
No, you do. Well, so let's think of it this way. We both don't have any, like, real food allergies. If you're like gluten intolerant or something,
Yeah.
or avoiding wheat or something like that, you gotta have an option.
Yeah.
Because
No, that's fair.
there's really no other option there.
Takeout presentation. I thought the salad container was kind of cute. I thought it was really adorable. And I think the half size kind of played to my heart and kind of tickled my fancy. I think if it was the full size salad, maybe it's not as cool of a container, but it was miniature, which I thought was cute. So that was, I thought, nice.
I didn't think it was very small.
No, it wasn't small.
If you told me that was the regular, I would have been like, okay.
Well,
what does the full one look like? I mean, that seemed like a decent sized salad.
So for price interest, which I think you'll find fascinating, I don't know exactly, but this one was 5 something. The full was 7 something.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know. It would be interesting, yeah, for sure, to like, if you actually took the salads, took them out of the container and just took the raw amount. If it's actually double, who knows? Like, a lot of places do tricky stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, honestly, that, especially with the chicken, that seems sufficient for lunch to me. For me.
Yeah, it wasn't small.
No, not at all. Like, also, Panera...
It wasn't big.
They do big half salads as well. But then sometimes, like, McDonald's, if you get a side salad there, it's, like, literally, like, 4 pieces of lettuce. So, no, I was surprised.
I wonder if the chicken amount would change with the full. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Maybe I should have gotten one of each to answer that question. I'll have 1.5.
1.5 chicken Caesars.
So takeout presentation. I like that it was small. Now, how do you judge presentation when half of it wasn't on the salad yet, right? So you had the salad dressing, which was in a bag. What was the company?
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
So have you ever
which
had...
you were like, you couldn't believe it.
I was like, duh.
Mercedes.
Right,
they're the leaders of the South.
2 things.
Time out, Brooklyn.
Time out. Have you ever had vegetable dip? Like, just like a ranch dip? Like, it's thicker? And it's like 100% of the time Mercedes.
Okay.
Like that thick ranch. That's what they have, like refrigerated dressings. I don't buy it a lot. I feel like I have relatives that do. I've never bought it.
And now when I think of, like, when I see that that's on there, I'm like, there's somebody that made a deal with the Mercedes people and Wendy's people made a deal to make themselves money.
And as somebody who is a manufacturer,
that's fascinating.
That's my dream. So
to be that kind of job.
Oh wait, yeah, like. So I'm in.
What does your wife do? She made the big Mercedes deal.
No. Okay, well, I do something slightly more important than that. I manufacture
Mercedes to get the Maserati.
I make deals with my biggest client, and this is very relevant, is Regeneron. Regeneron just made the antibody cocktail that Trump took. That is my biggest client.
Yes.
Like, so I supply them with the things that they need to do those kind of things.
Okay.
And so, like, I'm always thinking about, like, when I go anywhere and I see, like, oh, I look at the hand sanitizer in a restaurant, I'm like, oh, wow, that's a good deal for them.
So,
you know?
Like, how does it work? Is it like to me that, like, when I look at this in my brain, this is how it's working. Like, ring, ring, ring. Hi, this is Wendy's. Hey, it's Mercedes calling. What's going on? Oh, not much. Just broiling some patties. We're gonna do some stuff with a pretzel bun. Oh, that's great. I'm working on a new ranch. Hey, anyway, wanted to give you a call. What do you think about if I jumped on your salad and we all made some money together? I don't know. Like, to me, it's so weird. Like, how did these two get paired together?
Well, it can sometimes happen that way. It can,
and then somebody making this decision is making millions of dollars.
So I'll say it happens one of 2 ways. Wendy says, like, hey, we want to do a good Caesar, so we're looking for a dressing manufacturer. Could you give us your best price? So that's one way you start talking about it. The other way is the dressing manufacturer is like, hey, we got this great red wine vinaigrette. Do you think you could use this in anything?
Gotcha.
So there's 2 different ways that you go about it. And that's kind of how it works for me too. Like, you know, I'll be like, hey, I got this cool microscope thing. Do you think this will be helpful to you? And then other times they come to me and they're like, oh man, I think we need your microscope. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah. And then you always try to, like, upsell them. And you're like, well, we'll give you our Caesar, like, we'll give it to you at 75% off, but you got to go with our ranch too.
And I guess them putting their name on it is big for them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because you didn't know the name Mercedes till today.
And now moving forward, to be honest, if I'm ever grocery shopping again and I'm in the grocery store
theoretically,
and I see that salad dressing, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy it necessarily, but I might get it. So I don't know. it'd be cool to see people that have jobs that have to see the impact of these deals and how they impact their bottom line.
No, that's like the most rewarding part of your job is
Right.
like as a manufacturer, you're like, oh my gosh, I helped you do something that makes you do your job better. That's
Yeah,
like
no,
the
that's
best.
cool.
That's like the most satisfying part of it.
So takeout presentation, I'm going to go with a 6.5. Like, not that it was anything special, but I thought the miniature version was cute. I didn't even mention this, but the Parmesan crisps were in their own little bag too. I thought it was kind of fun that you got your own little bag and you made your own little salad. That warmed my heart. And I liked it because I think it kept the salad integrity better. Like if it was dressed, first of all, like
I hate when you get a dressed salad. It just always gets gross.
I like it when you get a dressed salad at the restaurant.
No, yeah. I mean, takeout. It should never.
Because to go, it's good, but or at the restaurant, it's good. But to go, you built the salad, etc. So I think I give them kudos for putting all the key ingredients separately to keep the integrity of the salad where it needs to be for taste, which we'll get to next.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm fine with the dressing on the restaurant. When you do takeout, I hate that. We recently got a Caesar salad that was dressed, which was fine. But we order from a Greek place pretty frequently that usually dresses unless you say it otherwise. It gets so soggy.
Soggy for takeout.
Yeah,
takeout the lettuce gets soggy.
All right, so we're doing presentation.
Yeah, I gave it 6.5.
So I having had in the past Wendy's salads, had very low expectations. It was way better than I thought.
Yeah. Well, that would seem to be the key is low expectations are big.
I haven't had a Wendy's salad in literally 12, 15 years. Something along the lines.
Wow.
I've had McDonald's salads, though. They use, interestingly enough, Newman's own dressing.
Oh, do they really?
Which
That's funny.
But they're not good on the McDonald's salads. Even though I buy them for the house, I swear to God, it's a different version. It's like in the packets. This Marzetti's dressing was not bad at all.
You gonna save the other pack?
I did. The one thing I do have to say is I am a Caesar salad aficionado. We both love Caesar salads.
Give me some anchovies all day. I thought there'd be anchovies on there. Surprised.
Well, so there's really a range from like very creamy dressings to like sort of vinaigrette dressings. This was more on the vinaigrette side of things. I typically
like creamy for Caesar.
I kind of like them all, but I fucking love Parmesan cheese. And not only was there cheese on it.
Oh, the cheese, yeah.
There were crisps on it.
Yeah.
I also agree. I liked putting it together because then if you're like, I don't want these crisps, you don't have to put them on. If you're like, I want light dressing, you can do your own thing. Yeah. So I'm going to give it 8.5.
Holy guacamole.
It just was better than I thought. It seemed classier than I thought for a $5 salad.
Do you think there's misleading information when they say the calorie content, but does it include the dressing?
Does it? Did it not include the dressing?
Not when I went there. It says 500. Like the half salad was, that would have been a giveaway for the size, the calories. That would have been
I think it's like 3. Well, we picked it because it was the lowest calorie. I think it was like supposed to be 310.
That must have been the half salad because the full was more.
Okay. Yes, okay. Ugh. Doing a whole nutrition degree, there's a lot of information about how they actually determine that stuff. Yeah. So if things are optional, they don't have to make it required. So it's not like you have to put all of this dressing on the salad. So that's considered optional for like the nutritional facts.
I mean, looking at that salad, it's pretty healthy.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't bad at all. I wasn't.
Chicken's minimal.
Was there an option of crispy chicken? Because this was like grilled chicken. Okay. No. Okay, so that was the only option.
It's just too complicated.
Well, no, at McDonald's you could do every salad either crispy or not.
Okay.
So, yeah, but we're
a little more health conscious.
It was classier than I thought a Wendy's salad was going to be.
All right, taste. We've talked a lot about it actually in takeout. I think kind of was a good introduction into taste. So lettuce. I feel like with this, the lettuce was good. I feel like only here the lettuce could be gross. So the lettuce passed the test. That's 1. 2, the cheese to me, because I'm a weirdo with cheese, wasn't overwhelming. Pass number 2. The Crispies were fun. I like those Parmesan crisps. Even though they're cheesy, I like them. Pass number 3. The dressing. Maseratis. Fantastic. The dressing was okay. It wasn't repulsive. Like to me, I'm like, is this edible? The chicken, I thought was okay. Like, better than okay. Okay is being obsolete, not giving it enough credit. Chicken was okay. Okay plus. How about that? Okay plus. So I would take that and be like, this wasn't good, but it wasn't gross. But it was like, okay, I'm okay with this. I give it another 6.5. I liked it. You know what? I'm changing my mind. I give it a 7. I liked it. I didn't think it was anything special, and I wouldn't recommend it to somebody. But I would say, oh, you're at Wendy's, you want a salad? This will do fine. You'll be okay with this.
Okay. So I thought the lettuce was way better than I expected for fast food lettuce.
Yeah.
It was like romaine. It made sense for the salad, and it was really good quality. It wasn't watery. It wasn't wilted.
Right. You're used to the watery salad.
Yeah. watery iceberg lettuce salads. The cheese that was on it, which I think was an Asiago, was great. The Parmesan crisp. I feel like we have not talked about my love of Caesar salads enough, / my love of Parmesan cheese. I actually had a discussion with one of my good friends from high school yesterday on Instagram about how Parmesan cheese is our favorite food. I love Parmesan cheese. Sometimes I go to Whole Foods and they sell the rinds of Parmesan cheese and I just eat them on my way home. Like, some people can't handle themselves around like a cake. I'm like, I can't handle myself around a block of Parmesan cheese.
Right.
It's a
Who
weird.
are you talking to about Parmesan on IG?
Deborah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about how much we love Parmesan cheese. So I love Parmesan crisps. They are the most okay. What do you think? Like a bag, like think of a small bag of croutons, the grocery store. Think of that. You can get a bag of Parmesan crisps like that. What do you think that goes for?
Price?
Yeah.
Well, like, give me a reference.
Like I just said, like a bag of croutons that we would get for salads.
That was in the 3s. So for this, because you're leading me somewhere, $6.55.
It's like a minimum $12.
What?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, why is Wendy's giving you Parmesan crisps? They are not cheap at all.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So I love that addition. I do love a crouton on the Caesar salad. Like, I am not exaggerating enough how much often I eat Caesar salads.
Yeah, no,
like
you
it's
love
like
them.
A couple times a week.
You're really building the suspense up here very well.
The Caesar salad, to me, the dressing was more of the vinaigrette style, like we talked about, not creamy.
Yep, Maseratis.
I'm okay with not doing a creamy dressing at a fast food restaurant. Like, I think
that's fair.
I think that's probably the right decision.
Yeah, I don't know if we went to Wendy's and it's like, this is our homemade Caesar.
Like,
excuse me?
I'd give the Caesar salad itself like a 9.5.
Wait, that's taste?
Yes, but
No.
the chicken was not as bad as the chicken I was used to having, but it wasn't great. I had to audit too many pieces of chicken to get to a good one to feel good about that. So, yeah, what?
Are you, though, picky with chicken?
Oh, yeah, but even you were like, there's some weird pieces in here.
But I'll eat the weird pieces.
Gross. No.
Actually, one of them's now our pet. His name is Josh.
What I really want to give it is a 7.75.
7.75. That's a first.
I
would say normally no, but you're the mother of my kids, so who the fuck am I to say you can't do that?
This is the best part of you watching me give birth is I get a little more leeway on these things.
So, you'll be like years later. So what, you gave birth. How did that change your relationship with your husband? When we do food reviews about foods from
Pretty
Wendy's
lenient.
salads, he let me go to a quarter score. He's a keeper.
I'm truly between a 7.5 and an 8 because I really thought the salad was great. And to be honest, I would order it again, and I think that's the ultimate.
Okay.
That's the ultimate to me, is that I would order that. I would legitimately, if we were on the road, I would get that salad.
Okay.
So, there you go.
That's good kudos to
I think
Wendy.
they have good components to put together. And
They kicked it off well.
And you can put it together however you want. Oh no, is this going to be like Wing Month where the first one was good and the rest
No,
sucked?
but I think it'll be interesting. Well, we're not getting salads from every place.
No, for sure.
Which I loved your idea, but I said I just don't want to do salads every time. Like, for example, from Schmy Guys, we're doing the veggie wrap. Which
No,
is
the veggie sandwich.
the veggie sandwich, which God knows what that'll be. It could be good, but the point is it's going to be different stuff. So I think it's going to be more volatile on my scores, Jess.
Yeah, no.
Does that make sense? Like high, low. It's not going to be like dip.
I know. I just had such hope for wings, and then it kind of
And
went
if you want to
awry.
see how it finished, go to Patreon.com. All right, Jesse, there's our scores. So say goodbye to that one. Number one, the salads, take out presentation 9, heat factor 9, 7, takeout 6.5, 8.5, taste 7, and 7.75. Best thing you ate this week, my lady.
Here's the thing. This is our first full week with a baby
You
alone.
sound like Joe Biden. Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Shut up, man. No.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal. I don't really remember what we ate this week.
Ryan, what was the best thing you ate this week? My mom's boobs. Milk.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
It's true. And that chocolate I gave him.
Probably the buns we had yesterday. The bao buns from Ani Ramen. Ani Ramen is such a, let's say, a very high-end ramen place.
We did tacos Friday.
Oh, I love the tacos too, but I kind of ate them so fast. I didn't you ever eat something so fast you barely think about it. You're because I was breast pumping and literally just shoving them in my face.
Ani Ramen shrimp for me. Those were the best.
Oh, I think that was probably mine too as well.
Yeah.
So we got 4 different buns. There was pork belly, chicken, tofu, and the shrimp, the panko shrimp. Those are kind of known as their best ones, the panko shrimp.
I do want to get more.
The pork belly's good too.
I do want to get more of that Detroit pizza.
I'm with you on that.
I'm in the mood for that. I've been craving pizza.
What was yours?
It was
also the shrimp.
buns.
Yeah, that probably was mine as well. Let's be honest. It's not as exciting right now because...
What did we eat this week?
Oh, I
made a good pad thai tofu.
Oh, I did. Yeah, so we're back on our gobble train. They have to sponsor us. Jesus, we're their number one stands.
We need to hire a staff that doesn't like money. We need volunteers. If you want to volunteer to help us make money and doesn't help well, you know what? If you want to join us and you can help us make money, I'll give you a VIG. Is that the word?
A what?
A VIG?
No, not a word.
This has been the Mike Delivers podcast. We're going to wrap this shit up because I'm hungry and we got to go.
I did make dinner
Mike Delivers, Bad Weather Fans, Patreon, Leon the Cat. Where is he?
He's upstairs.
Fucking cat. Thank you for coming to the podcast, Jess. Next week, we got a few others. I don't know which one we'll go to next, but it could be Sonic. It could be anything. Bad food for you from places that are known. Good food for you from places that have bad food that are known for it, that are caloric, that are chains. Give me an acronym. You look cute with your glasses.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe if anybody has suggestions on weird, healthy things too, that's always helpful.
Jess, when I hit stop, I'll see you when we're done, okay?
Great. We can eat the pasta I just made.